Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another presentation on insurance. My name is NIK NIKAM. In this presentation, we are going to be talking about final expenses insurance update 2022. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM along with Sudhir Mathuria. We represent Health Life 360 located in Houston, Texas. And here are our contact informations. So let us begin with the feature presentation, and that is Final Expenses Update 2022. Final expenses cover the funeral costs, the cemetery costs, and any additional medical expenses that you might incur in the final stages of life. Generally, the funeral costs average anywhere between $6,000 to $8,000, and the cemetery costs may range anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000. So you're looking at a total of approximately $10,000 for a simple, ordinary funeral expense. And if you add another $10,000 for unexpected medical bills, you are looking at $20,000, which you have to come up with cash at the terminal phases of life to complete the formalities of the funeral and all the other expenses that need to be taken care of. That is why the final expense insurance takes an important role in taking away some of these concerns that your children may have when they have to take care of the issues after you pass away. Now let's talk about, we are looking at a $20,000 insurance policy, final expense policy. What are some of the facts about final expense insurance policy? Unlike life insurance or health insurance, most people qualify for funeral expense insurance without a need for a medical examination. You just need to answer a few questions. Sorry, there's a typo. You just need to answer a few questions. And most of these policies are more affordable than what you expect. Of course, the policy premiums depend upon the age of the person, depend upon the location of the place in the country, and it also depends upon how much insurance you're trying to get. Anyway, planning eliminates the stress, the added stress to your family in those final moments when they are already overwhelmed with grief. So the last thing you want is to put them in a financial burden. So in order to eliminate that, you have a final insurance which can be recovered within a 24-hour period that will meet all the expenses needed for the final services, so that the children can focus on grieving rather than worrying about what's going on. And it's just a matter of fact, the funeral costs are going to be going up each year, and that is something we have to take into account, because if you sign up for a funeral insurance, final expense insurance at age 60, by the time you are 70 or 75, the cost of funeral may be quite different than what you signed up for, and whether that meets your requirements is something that you need to keep into account. So let us focus on that one too. Again, the cost of final expenses varies from state to state. For example, in Texas, it is approximately $6,000, whereas if you go up north, it could be $6,500. But these are modest numbers. As I showed you in the first chart, the costs run close to $8,000 to $9,000, and in 5 years, they could be up to $15,000. So if you are a younger person insuring yourself, make sure you insure for the cost of inflation that has to be added on to the final cost of the final expenses. Coming back to the same chart which I showed you at the beginning, and if you are looking for $20,000 insurance, here are some of the facts that we need to keep in mind. Number one, there are different kinds of policies available. That is the fixed amount, which you are mostly familiar with. Fixed amount is if you insure for $10,000, that's what you're going to get. A graded benefit is where you get the cost of living adjustment, so that if you insure for $10,000, 10 years from now, it could be worth $15,000 or $18,000, depending upon the structure of your policy. But also you pay an extra premium for this added benefit. But now there are also modified benefit plans which have some sort of a ceiling, but they can go up to a certain amount each year depending upon your age. So these are some of the different types of policies available. Now let's look at an approximate cost. These numbers are just average costs, and they don't truly reflect what your cost is going to be when you sit down with an agent like us and talk about your age, talk about your location, talk about the amount of insurance you want, and other features like the insurance companies, how reliable they are, how long they have been in business, how quickly do they respond. All these things are exceedingly important. Let's take, for example, a male with $10,000 at age 60 may pay a premium of $63, but when that person reaches 80, the premium could be almost 3 times as high as the premium at age 60. So that's just a simple magic and logic. And same thing, depending upon the amount, the premiums go up. And these are, remind you, monthly premiums. So if you're younger, you're paying for a longer duration of time and your premiums are less. In case you come across an unfortunate event, you are going to get a bigger return on your investment for the funeral expenses insurance. On the other hand, the cost of insurance at age 70, if it's $93, and after 5 years, if that person was to pass away, you would have paid roughly $6,000, and you're getting $4,000 of extra insurance. And this is how you leverage your insurance cost. Number one. Number two, you have peace of mind. Number three, there is ready cash set aside for funeral expenses. Number four, it reduces tremendous amount of stress on the family members to come up with this extra cash in the last minutes when they are grieving and they are in shock. So these are some of the advantages of having a funeral insurance, because one, you always come ahead in terms of cost of what the funeral cost is going to be compared to what you pay as premium for the funeral insurance. These policies are available for ages 45 to 85 years. The rates can never be increased, benefits can never be decreased, and your policy cannot be cancelled. Once you have a policy, the policy cannot be cancelled. So some of these features are exceedingly important when you look at selecting an insurance company for yourself for the final expenses. Anyway, if you were to Google final expenses insurance, you're going to probably come up with 1,000 insurance companies. Look at the misery of choices that we have here. Every insurance company in the country and from abroad can write you your final expense insurance. But that's where your agent like us, who come into the picture to find you the best insurance policy. And here are some of the features that we need to keep in account. Number one, here's another chart taken out of Investopedia showing their top 10 list. But again, it all depends upon the company's history and how easy it is to deal with them. If you have to be online holding for 45 minutes an hour, that's not going to be very useful for you in the final stages when you are struggling to get that money to meet the final expenses. Some of them listed here are AARP, Gerber, Forrester, Global. You can look through this one, but the key things that we need to keep in mind are how long these insurance companies have been in business. What is their track record? How is their customer service? Before you sign up, call up the customer service and ask a bunch of questions. See how friendly they are to answer your questions. That is the best way to know, because this is exactly what your family members have to go through when they want to collect money from the insurance company after your demise. And how easy it is to enroll, and can you keep track of your policy online? so that your children can access it very easily, and how quickly can you get the funds, what kind of documents they need. So you have to create a folder and put all these things in the folder before you approach an insurance agent, so that all these things can be addressed and answered to your satisfaction before you sign up with any insurance policy. Okay, here are some of the key features we want to talk about the insurance policy itself. We want an application that should not be more than a page. And what is the cash benefit? That has to be spelled out. Then, do you have a personal insurance advocate who deals with you? How quickly do they approve your claims? What kind of documents they need, like death certificate or a doctor's certificate, something of that nature. Then advance funding of the funeral homes. So it helps to understand what are the things that we need to be concerned about when we are trying to sign up for a final expense insurance. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very quick bird's eye overview of final expense insurance, what it is, what it covers, who can sign up for this, and what the premiums are, and what companies you need to be looking at, or more importantly, what agents you need to be talking to, so that your work is simplified and done on your behalf. I am NIK NIKAM from Health Life 360. If you would like to talk to us or just get general information about final expenses insurance, give us a call. We will be glad to sit down with you one-on-one, or because of the COVID pandemic, we can do it on Zoom and answer all your questions and help you understand the need for a final expense insurance. Because if you have final expense insurance, it has many benefits because it costs less than what it would cost you for a funeral. Plus, it relieves some of the aggravation and stress for your family members. Again, I am Dr. NIK NIKAM. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. We have a large list of videos based on health insurance, Medicare, Medicare Advantage plans, and prescription plans, life insurance, annuities, and please do watch them. And if you have any questions, please do contact us. Thank you so much for watching this presentation.